Hi, this is Bo Sanchez here with Riza Singson Kaupeng for the One True Love Club. It's a little group, a little family that we're gathering together for single people who are searching for, praying for, waiting for their one true love. And I am with Riza. And Riza, hi.
Hi, Bo.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for inviting me to
Yes.
be part of your One True Love Club.
Oh, you're not just a part. Riza and I, we want to make this, we really want to help. We really want to help single people. It is a struggle for many single people. You know that.
Yeah.
And I know that. You know, we meet so many single people who love God, who want to follow God, but they're having a difficult time, you know, with that issue.
You know, Bo, just the other day I was talking to this single person, this single woman, and she's, you know, in her early 30s, nearing her mid-30s, and she's still single, no boyfriend. And then I was telling her that one of the projects that we're doing is this One True Love Club. And she goes, please, make me your project. Make me your project. Come on, I'm available. And, you know, I mean, that reaction just shows that, yeah, single people do need guidance, and it helps a lot. And that's why I was sharing in our first webinar in the One True Love Club that I had a resentment against you against you for coming up with this One True Love Club so late, because I felt like I needed this when I was a single person. Because, you know, when you're single and you're a Christian and you're seeking God's will, it's like you're like a blind person feeling in the dark. Yeah. And when I was editing your book, How to Find Your One True Love, I was like, so many times throughout that period I was editing your book, I was screaming, "Bo, why did you just write this now? Why am I just reading this now?"
Yeah, it's same reaction, you know. So many single people, they tell me that, and it's amazing how, you know, what we're going to share with them in the One True Love Club, what I shared in the book, what you're going to share in the monthly webinars we're going to do in the club. They're so practical. It's not like, you know, this is secret, ultra, you know, but no, it's very simple. And yet people don't talk about it. People don't discuss about it openly. And it boggles your mind, you know, it boggles my mind. It's just, but it's there. It's a practical, common sense, guidance, teaching. Yes, we share our experiences and what we've learned all these years, and we're very happy to do that. It just bothers me, you know.
I think the value in groups like this is that it's like, I liken it to how I learned how to write, because I didn't take up journalism. I didn't take up communication arts. I took up computer science in college, but I ended up in the writing profession.
For people who are watching, Riza Singson is the editor-in-chief of all our 8 publications. She is also the editor of all my books and of all the bestsellers that come out of Shepherd's Voice publication. So some people don't know you. So I needed to say that.
So you know, when I started writing, and because I didn't really study it, I was writing out of instinct. It's like, okay, I think this looks good. I think this sounds good. Okay, I think this is how to write. But then when I was mentored by, I was blessed to be mentored by a former Wall Street Journal editor, and after I was mentored by her, I also went to the US and I took a course on magazine writing, and it was like, oh wow, eureka! You know, I had so many eureka moments, because it's like, okay, I used to do this out of instinct, but wow, it's a principle. It's, you know, there's a name for it. They actually teach it in school, you know. So I think that's also that's what I see here in finding your one true love, you know, the value of this club, because it's like, as you said, it's very practical. We teach very practical things. But when you hear somebody validate what you're feeling, it's like, okay, I'm on the right track, or I thought that was the way to go, and so now I know that's where I should be heading.
Wonderful, wonderful. And that's the encouragement we want to give all of you. We want to bless you with a family, and we want to bless you with mentors. We want to bless you with testimonies, stories, and sharings of people. And that's what we will provide in that club. Riza, I want to go straight to the topic because I want you, and I know the listeners are just wondering this. Okay, so you're going to talk about how to help single people. I'm a single person, you know, you're going to share with me. What's your story? I'm sure people want to know that.
Okay, well, my story is actually, it's what I wrote in, it's summarized in my book entitled Confessions of an Impatient Bride. I mean, just the title alone tells you how long I had to wait. And, you know, it was all the ups and downs of waiting for the one.
Yes.
And I would always say that I remember I was like 4 years old, and I would have, you know, I was already attracted to the opposite sex, and I was, you know, I couldn't wait to get into a romantic relationship. And, you know, I thought it was just a matter of, you know, reaching the right age, because my mom was so strict regarding how old we should be to have our first boyfriend. So she was so strict. 16 years old, you can't have any boyfriend unless you're 16.
You wanna pick up?
Yeah, yung tricycle.
Pick up na lang. May motor eh.
Ako, okay, yung kwento ko. Okay. From the very start, yung minention ko yung book. Okay. Well, my story is summarized in my first book entitled Confessions of an Impatient Bride. So the title alone tells you how long I had to wait and the ups and downs of you know, being single and waiting for God to show me and form me until I met the one. And I was, you know, as far back as 4 years old, I would already be dreaming about my one true love, you know. Maybe I didn't have that name for it, but, you know, I was already dreaming of that romantic.
4 years old?
Yeah, because, you know.
That's illegal.
I know. But, you know, I grew up, because I had my brothers and my sisters were a lot older than me. So I grew up seeing them with their boyfriends and their girlfriends, and, you know, and I would have crushes on my brother's barcadas, you know, his good friends. So they would be, so, you know, so many years older than me. But I was a gut. So I thought it was just a matter of waiting for the right age, because my mom was very, very strict with us. She said, no boyfriend until you're 16 years old. So I couldn't wait to be 16. But, you know, I did become 16. But that's another story. You know, on the eve of my 16th birthday, I gave my heart to the Lord. So I did find my one true love.
Amen. On
my 16th birthday. And it's been since then I've been following the Lord, you know, and serving Him. But then, you know, as the years rolled by, and, you know, of course, you would always pray. That would always be one of the prayers you have in your heart, that God would lead you to that the one, the perfect one, you know. And I was serving Him, and we would, you know, I was in the singles ministry, and then we also had there was a time that I dedicated my life to not having, you know, just so that I could serve the Lord without any distraction. I gave up, you know, romantic relationships. And when I say gave up, it wasn't a period of 2 years or 3 years or 5 years. It was the whole, from the age of 17 until I discerned my state of life when I was 29 years old. So you can imagine that whole period of no romantic relationships, not entertaining boyfriends or suitors, or, you know.
In other words, you became a nun.
Yeah, well, so many ways you could say that, diba? But I was just serving the Lord. I was enjoying it. I was enjoying serving the Lord, and really being blessed for it. But then, of course, you know, you reach that, the human side of you. You have that faith side of you which says, no, God will send him at the right time. But when you're hitting your 30s, you know, and then they say, you know, you get past the days of the calendar. And, you know, the human side of you, no matter how strong your faith is, you know, you start worrying, Lord, is there somebody for me? Do you still want me to get married, or do you want me to stay single forever. And I'm like, I hope you're not, I hope you're not calling me to be single forever, you know, that feeling. And so when I discerned my state of life to be for the married life, I thought, wow, finally God revealed this will, and you know, all these guys will be breaking down my front door.
You were 29.
I was 29. Nothing. Nothing.
No long queue.
No, nothing.
Okay.
Yeah, no. And it was like, okay, Lord, I know you're a faithful God. You know, I cannot outgive you. You know, I gave you all these years, my single life. So I'm sure you have something. You know, I had my first boyfriend finally at the age of 33. 33. The age that Jesus died. Imagine. Jesus already fulfilled his mission on earth of saving the whole of humanity. And there I had my first boyfriend. And so I felt in my heart, it was like, you know, wow, this is what I saved myself for.
Okay.
This is why I didn't have all those boyfriends before. Because when it's time to marry, okay, game, Lord, let's get it on. My first boyfriend will be my last boyfriend, and he will, you know, be the guy I will meet at the end of the altar. But that's not how it ended, you know. Actually, you know, it wasn't even him who broke it up. It was me. It was like
very painful. Yeah.
Yeah, you remember that boy?
Yes.
We were already in the caring group together, and I, you know, even if I had prayed and I prayed all throughout the process, I didn't, you know, as the days went by, I was feeling like he's about to propose, and I was, instead of being excited that he was about to propose, I was scared because I didn't feel like, you know, as we got to know each other better, and as I got to know myself better, I didn't feel like this was the person that I could spend the rest of my life with. So it was painful to break it up, and also, you know, apart from the breakup, it was also the breakup of a dream, because you know, I had this thing in my head that, wow, Lord, you know, because I offered myself to you all these years, then when, you know, parang this first one will be, you know, because I thought I was following and I was trying to discern the will of God. I thought this one would be perfect, you know, but it didn't end up that way. And then after that, I met another guy, and it was like, wow, this is it, Lord. I mean, this is what you saved me for. This is beyond what I prayed for on my knees every single day, you know. And I thought this was, you know, I thought that was it. But again, didn't turn out as I expected. And in fact, you remember those days, I would be crying. I think I was depressed for, I don't know, more than half a year. And I couldn't, to the point that I even felt bad at God, because I felt like it was like a betrayal. It was something like, Lord, come on, you know, I've been trying to follow your ways. And, you know, but how
old were you then?
Wow, I was 35.
35, okay.
So you could imagine, it was like, I was at the brink of hopelessness. You know, I was, you break up at the age of 35. Two boyfriends, and it was like,
didn't work. Where
else on planet Earth will I find, you know, at my age, you know, somebody who was eligible, somebody who wasn't. You know, sometimes when you're single and you're searching at that age, you feel like, and I hear this also from my single friends who are in that age range, they say, where else will I look? You know, it's all leftovers. You know, latak in Tagalog. You know,
it's like, I hear that.
Yeah,
I hear that. Yeah.
It's like, these are the guys who are available. These are the guys they've been picked from. You know, so I felt that way, but still I had faith in the Lord, and so I started, you know, I started going out of my comfort zone, my box, you know, which is what you also teach in your book, How to Find Your One True Love. And I said, okay, I'm not the type to go on blind dates, but, you know, Lord, let's go, let's try it out. So I did, you know, it was so against the grain of what I was, but I tried it, and wasn't for me.
Yeah.
I mean, and I also, because I'm not the type who goes out, I'm not the nightlife kind of girl. I don't go to clubs, I don't go to bars. So I said, where will I meet guys? I mean, I don't go to bars. So there was a time in my life, Bo, that I started just going around the different singles communities in Manila.
Yeah.
I would go and attend the retreats.
Yeah.
Because I said, where will I meet guys? What kind of guys do I want to meet? So I started, just joining prayer meetings of different singles communities. And, but after that, after 2 blind dates, I said, okay, that's it. I think the Lord is really calling me to be single. So I started turning down all the other offers, that friends would, hey, can I set you up with this? I said, without telling them straight, but at the back of my mind, I think the Lord is calling me to be single for life. So I stopped dating. But then there was this one friend of mine who was a classmate in high school. She was the one who actually gave me the first 2 blind dates.
Oh.
And then she called me up again and she said, I have another blind date for you. And I'm like, I felt, I was ashamed to turn her down because I felt like this girl doesn't owe me anything. And she's looking and really looking for me. So I said, okay, one last. I said it to myself. I said, okay, just one last blind date. After this, I'm not going to date anymore. I'm through with dating. Yeah. And true enough, that last blind date it was really my last because that's when I met Chris.
Wow.
And the events were so. I met him on February 14. It was Valentine's Day. We didn't plan it, but it just ended up that we set the date on a Monday, and without knowing that, it was November. It was the February 14.
Yeah.
And then so I met Chris. I met my husband on February 14, 2005. And no, 2006, yeah. No, that one, 2005. Yeah. And then no fireworks, but just a little spark. Yeah. When I first laid my eyes on him, I said, looks okay. Just like that. But when I tell his side of the story, it's like I imagine that when he laid his eyes on me, the fireworks went off, and his jaw dropped, and he said, "Wow, she's the one," Yeah. But it wasn't. It was a very ordinary evening, but it was the first of many other. Wow. He didn't stop dating me after that. Wow. Every single day he was calling me, taking me out, or seeing me, until we got married 2 years after. Wow. So, true enough, the Lord cannot be outdone. The Lord is faithful. Yeah. I got married at the age of 38. And 38. Woo! When my sister, my eldest sister, got married at the age of 33, we were crying at her wedding because we were saying, wow, we thought she'd never marry. At the Jurassic age of 33, finally she's married. And then I get married at 38. So you can imagine how many people were crying at my wedding, me included. But that's how good the Lord is.
Wow, that's beautiful. I wanted Riza to share her story with you, to give you inspiration, encouragement, and hope that God has a plan for your life. And, at the end of the day, we give you practical stuff, we give you practical common sense strategies, and they're very, very important. And I pray that you learn from the One True Love Club. And I'm going to bring before you other people. And Riza is the director of the club, and she will be interviewing people who will share with you their stories, like the way she did to you. But our most important message is that God has a plan for your life, and hold on to that plan and believe. Believe. It's amazing if you believe, Riza, that God has a plan for your life. Because if you say, no, maybe there's none, then you feel depressed, you feel discouraged. That even if somebody is there, or even if there's an opportunity, you don't even look at it anymore.
Exactly.
Your eyes are
Yeah.
closed. So our goal here in the One True Love Club is to keep your hope and your faith in God, because then your eyes are open and then you won't miss the opportunity. And thank you so much for being part of this little video that we presented to you. And I do, Rize and I want to invite you to sign up and be part of the One True Love Club. There is a button, a link at the bottom of this video, somewhere here around the video, just at the bottom or at the side of the video, and I want you to click that, and I want you to be part of the One True Club, and you will receive a lot of great material. Very, very important, I believe, very essential material to support you in finding your one true love. So thank you, Rize.
Thank you, Bo.
Thank you so much. Bless you.
God bless.
So here is Bo Sanchez and Rize Singson Kaupeng saying God bless you, and we hope to see you on the other side when you join the One True Love Club.